offer the best grooming methods for you, That's all natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be your swagger, your style, class, and luxury. Make our products tailor-made for you with high quality, yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, yeah. Black, gentleman, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormybman for this Saturday, November 30th, 2024. This is the post-fight show for Edwards versus Yafai, the Flyweights, who just wrapped up their bout over in Birmingham, the UK. It was aired live on Dazn, a Matchroom promotion. Man, this was a spirited battle, albeit one-sided. It was very interesting. And the fans were rocking and rolling in the stands. The fighters were rocking and rolling in the match. And from the opening stanza, I mean, these two young men went after it and gave us everything that we crave when we talk about championship level boxing, when fighters, the bell ring and they get right down to it, Sonny Edwards and Galal Yafai brought it. And it's one of those situations where when you look at it for what it is, it gives inspiration to people in the sport who recognize that even when there is camaraderie, even when you have people who are familiar and maybe even have relationships, that they can still put things aside and conduct business and entertain the sport and elevate themselves within the sport to create memorable opportunities like what we saw in tonight's main event there. So we're here to talk about that a little bit, and I hope that some of you had a chance to witness this. And come on into the building, please. Smash the like button as you come in, and we can talk about it a little bit. You know, as of late, the conversation in the sport of boxing, at least from the Western side, has been that we don't see enough of our young talent entering into opportunities to compete against one another, to settle matters, to find out who's the best, and to provide separation and put a stamp on the fact that there are levels to this. And as long as people are not meeting to show us who's the best in the ring, we can never make a proper assessment. And so you can't hide from the truth. The men over in the UK understand this. Boxing is a sport and a business at the same time, and a form of entertainment. And they seem to understand it on all ends, which is why these two men came together to face one another tonight, and you saw the result of what you did. Yeah. And that was Galal Yafai with the 6th round TKO stoppage over Sonny Edwards, where his volume and output of pressure just became a bit more overwhelming than Sonny was willing to deal with emotionally. And I say emotionally because I don't believe physically he was checked out. I do believe psychologically he was checked out, because maybe he just could not bring himself to do what was necessary to persevere, at least to go through with this match. Yafai seemed to be able to separate and compartmentalize what was important here. He went after Sonny as if Sonny had did something to him personally. And he did. He signed a contract in which he dared to challenge Galal and his Olympic experience and the fact that he was ready to do what was necessary. Yeah. He challenged him, and Galal stepped up and met the challenge from the opening bell. That's something that a lot of the fighters over in the US can take note of and possibly grow from an experience such as this. I like the fact when young men fight each other in their primes and give us entertainment of which that youthful vigor and almost the ignorance of safety, that usually comes a little later with a little more experience. And when they're as youthful as these two men were entering this bout, 28-31, what happens is you're ready to take a few more risks than normal. And that leads to more excitement and sometimes more drama. And that's what we were able to experience here with this evening. Let me take a moment and see who we got in the chat. We got Shower out there early saying salute Stormy in the chat. Tap the like button. Darius Gilliard is in the building saying salute family. Snoopy Mac is back saying salute to the wise one. Jimmy Bernard in the house saying what's good, Sensei. Salute to the chat. Smash the like button when entering the building. Yes, sir. Who else we got? The Jab Jamboree is in the building. What's happening with you, Act? Enjoyed your guys live a little earlier this afternoon. You guys were cooking up a storm over there, man. No pun intended. Stephen Elder Mack is in the building saying Sonny got beat the hell up every round, but I wasn't too much surprised after I seen how the first round went. You know, it's always good to say I know and told you so after things go down. But it's also nice to know the theater of the unexpected, which boxing happens to advertise on a regular basis, is still alive. Yeah. He says, how's your night, by the way, too, Sensei? My night is great. Just had some great boxing on, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Had a chance to really sink my teeth into about 9 or 10 bouts, and this was great. My brother Drew Titan, LLC, is in the building saying, yo, salute to the chat. Queen 71 says, salute everybody. Sonny quit. Shower says, laugh out loud. That's what I called it. Spirited. Yeah, Shower, that's exactly what that was. You know what I'm saying? Especially in an era when we're not seeing that on a consistent basis. Ravens Nation is in the building saying salute. And J-Man is out there. What's good with you, J-Man? Queen says, Sonny pulled a Jamel Charlo. Nah, man. Come on, Queen. You know what? Sometimes, Queen and chat, you just have to give credit to someone who performs either the unexpected or someone performs less than hoped for. And that was a little bit of a combination tonight with what happened with Sonny and Galal. See, a lot of people don't know about Galal. They don't know. But he was an Olympic champion, and these two men, just like I said in my breakdown video, have a history. They are very familiar with one another. And Galal, being the elder guy, has more worldly experience because of what he faced in the amateurs. Sonny is a fighter who's had more professional experience with the fights under his belt, but until he ran into the likes of Bam Rodriguez, which he lost that fight a couple of fights ago, he had not faced anyone who could literally just break him down to the essence of what he lacks. And what he lacks is punching power. Galal was definitely a stronger fighter, a stronger puncher, but he overwhelmed Sonny with pressure and volume. I don't think the punching power was all as effective as you might think, but the pressure was, and the fact that he didn't allow Sonny any space to breathe whatsoever. If I were working in Sonny's corner, because Sonny had the faster hands, and he seemingly backed himself into areas where Galal had him trapped. Definitely living in the triangle, which I've done videos on that. It decreases your options, and it allows the other person to accentuate their strengths. If I were here in his corner, what I would have been telling Sonny to do would be to counter which he was doing very well in certain instances, but he was waiting too long to get his shots off. His hands were faster. So what I would have told him to do is every time you catch one of Galal's punches, punch hard to the body with the opposite hand. And sometimes double it up to the body, then the head, but always the body first. You see, because he's throwing at you, and he's throwing hard, and he's trying to get your head off of your body. Well, if you're digging to the body doesn't know the difference between a big puncher or a feather-fisted puncher, because your organs are inside, and getting hit there and being absorbed the punishment there over a few rounds, not only does it drain out the stamina of the opposing fighter, but there's a disruption because your organs are encased inside the torso, within the range of the torso and the abdomen. But see, it's called a sweet science for a reason. You can't throw meaningless shots back at the face and off the shoulders and all of that. You can't do much of that if you're not making certain other shots count. But yet and still, Galal did exactly what he came out with his game plan, and he did exactly what his intent was to do. And that was to get Sonny out of there, because he was not going to be able to win a decision, because he's not a boxer. He's more of a grappler, and he's I won't say a slugger, but he's a grinder. And he'll make things look ugly. Now, if he thinks that he could get away with doing that kind of stuff against the likes of a Bam Rodriguez, be my guest. Yes, it would be an interesting fight for a couple of rounds until he gets knocked out. Because Bam Rodriguez is a guy who knows not only how to set traps, but he also knows the way of the accurate punch placement, ring generalship, and he has power to boot. There was a lot of holes in Galal's game. There were points where he was taking shots from Sonny, but because Sonny doesn't crack like that, those clean shots were just kind of like going right off of his chin, his face, his eye. But he's not going to be able to take those kind of shots like that away from Bam. He will be going to sleep. And it's okay, because those are the kind of things that we like to see. And boxing brings us that. I love that. We have a couple more people in the building. Let's see who we got. Oh, it's just a couple more comments. Stephen L says, yeah, Galal was throwing hands repeatedly. And J-Man says, oh yeah, he had a solid opponent. I've seen him before. Sonny knew this wasn't a UK bum. No, he wasn't. And they, like I said, they have a history together. Queen says, I'm surprised they sanctioned the fight with that unhealed cut above his eye. Stephen L says, G with the longer reach played a part too. Well, no, not really, because he smothered Sonny. He stayed on top of Sonny and never let Sonny get into a boxing rhythm. Had he done that, it was going to be a long night for him, because Sonny Edwards can box, you guys. He's a damn good boxer. And I thought that he would try to utilize that, you know, but from the opening bell when Galal jumped on him, you know, Sonny kind of backpedaled, and then he just gave all the momentum up to Galal. But see, again, this is where the quality coaching comes into play. And from what I understand, Sonny entered this fight with a different coach who had been working with him all these years. So why? I don't know. I didn't even try to investigate that. But you never know when you have a new ear or a new voice in your ear, someone who may not know Sonny's weaknesses to the point that certain adjustments need to be made, as well as certain things to be said to Sonny to kickstart the type of activity or response that you need to get out of him. So that's what transpires when you have like a new person in your corner. But understand, just like I said, I would have had him countering to Galal's body with hard shots. I mean, throw them hard as you can to the body, because the body is the only thing that's not moving. You understand? And a good shot to the ribs by a feather-fisted guy or a guy who punches like a boulder, listen, it's the same. Your ribs crack at a certain pounds of pressure. 8 pounds of pressure breaks bones. Okay? On an angle, 6 pounds. But I'll tell you something. Those were not effective means of response from Sonny. And it made a difference in the fight. It made a tremendous difference. Queen says, I didn't see much of a jab either. Shower says, he can. He usually slick, but he just played counter and gave up the game. Yeah, you know, the retreating. Remember, backing up and going near the ropes. For a fighter like Galal, he had to be effective punching. So you gave him downhill momentum by coming after you and not giving him the angles that Sonny is really good at. Turning him in a circle. Tie him up and turn him, spin him, make his feet cross up and push him off and punch him, pop, pop, and then step around. See, these are the kind of things that you have to train for in the gym. Simulated circumstances that you may find yourself in live action combat. So if you don't practice those things and you aren't adept at doing them prior to when it's called upon, then a lot of times you can't just reach out of the cosmos and pull these type of tactics out. This is where experienced fighters understand, and their experienced trainers can assist with them elevating and being much better as a result. But if you're not practiced in this, that goes away, and your opportunity to impose or implement goes away even faster. Chiquila Fields is in the building. What's going on, Chiquila? Good to see you. She says, salute Stormy in the chat. Yeah. See, I can tell you guys all the time, one of the reasons why I come down on some of the coaches of the game of today, I'm very much at them because they're not passing on the proper knowledge of the sweet science. The things that I tell you and share with you here, you might think, oh, Stormy just think he... Listen, I have sat up with elder statesmen of boxing, grandpas, great-grandpas of boxing, and we've had conversation. My brother Scrapbook Boxing, and when Kurt Sugar was with us here in the flesh, I used to talk to those brothers about these things, and we would all share the same sentiment about the sweet science. It is exactly that. It's not as physical as you may think or that you may witness because you're watching boxing with your eyes. A great deal of it have to be psychological and spiritual. When you hear me talk about it being a spirited fight, because you have to have something within to call upon to do what these guys do. But psychologically, if you understand the task at hand, what happens is your mind works at a different speed than the average person, because now you have to kick in with a physical action to match what the mind has adjusted to. There were not enough adjustments on the behalf of Sonny Edwards to make Galal have to respect what he brought to the ring, which is far more professional experience. You see? You turn it into something where it's a battle of might versus right, and you find out that you might not be the mightiest. And the moves that you make may not be right. So you're at a deficit. So how do you come up out of that hole that you've dug yourself? You have to be able to make the proper adjustments and then be able to turn the fight around. Because even when you make an adjustment, the opposer might make an adjustment to that. And then that's when the fight begins. Because when a fighter makes an adjustment to your adjustment, then who's capable of implementing a game plan beyond the adjustment? This is why, again, when the coaches and trainers lack, the fighters look more limited. It's as simple as that. Because I'm going to tell you, Galal looked very good doing what he did tonight against Sonny. But he's not going to look good doing that against certain other fighters, because there are other fighters who will be prepared for that foolishness. You understand? And I'm not calling what Galal did foolishness. I'm calling the mindset of what he did foolishness, because a lot of times that don't work. Oh, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming. Huh? But someone who knows how to stop that. Did you guys see Sonny stick a stiff jab into the pit of the stomach of Galal one time in those 6 rounds? Did you see him stick a stiff jab in the pit of Galal's stomach as he was stepping in? One time. Just once. Because that punch right there, for somebody who's coming in and wading in on you, that shot right there makes somebody boo-boo on themselves. Seriously. Do you remember when Jamel Charlo was fighting Banana and he stuck that stiff jab in his belly? Do you remember the end result of that? Do you recall Floyd Mayweather doing it to several opponents who had great jabs, who had great pressure, who had great punching power? Floyd would do it all the time. You have to make the other guy think about self-preservation. And it's not always about hitting them in the head, because there are guys who have taken a hit solidly to the head by a 2x4 and kept on going, like the Energizer Bunny. But any man get hit correct in the body is going to rethink some things. There were several fights on the undercard of this event who got stopped by body shots tonight. Several. I think three fights. Fights got stopped by body shots. If it wasn't 3, it was definitely 2 fights. But yeah, this is what we're talking about. The sweet science. The elevation of Galal used no jabs. He was all just coming through with power shots, power shots, power shots, power shots. And you know that guys get tired, right? And you can't get them to punch the bag like that for 3 minutes around. But he was able to do that to Sonny because Sonny wasn't countering with the proper stuff to make him realize, oh, I'm in here with somebody who has, sensibility. We got Mr. Shelton in the building. He says, yo, what's going on, Mr. Shelton? See you out there. The OG Mr. Mont is in the building. He says he was on him like a cheap suit. Yeah. Queen said, he said that he didn't want to be there. Oh, is that what he said in the post-fight? Because, I didn't see the post-fight, didn't see the interview, because I started firing things up to do the post-fight show. Mr. Mon says, no, you didn't see that jab to the pit of the stomach, right? Interesting. Jab Jamboree says, if you want to lose your money, go ahead and bet it on Sonny. To what do you call it? Recall Ali talking about Sonny Liston. Queen says, yeah, he was in there to survive, not to win. J-Man says 100. Stephen L says, Sensei, you think Gal lost? What do you mean, Stephen L? What are you asking me? The OG Mr. Mon says he said it during the fight. Said what during the fight? Tay Tay is in the building. What's going on with you, Tay Tay? She says, hey, chat. So, Stephen L., what is that you're asking me? I want to be clear on what I'm being asked about. A different fight that was on the undercard. A dude named Gav. Oh, you talking about Gavin Gwynn versus Cameron Vaughn? Stephen L., come on, bro. I hadn't got a chance to get to that yet. But yeah, just to go ahead and follow up your question, since you're ready for that answer. Yeah, I thought that Vaughn lost the fight. They got the Vaughn man winning. Yeah! Listen, man, that was a fight. Again, how many times have we seen them award guys who are high volume? Robeson Conseco against Oshaki Foster in their first fight, but not necessarily landing everything. And the guy who's on the retreat and moving around, like Tevin Farmer against Muratalla, right? But scoring solidly. And they give the decision to the guy who's boxing, like Muratalla, right? But in this instance, they give it to Vaughn when it really appeared that the fight was being made by Gavin Gwynn. So, yeah. Listen, man, as I'm watching the fight, I gave Vaughn 2 rounds out of the 10. I gave him 2 out of the 10. I had Gavin winning that fight hands down. I got my scorecard right here in front of me. I had him winning the fight hands down because he was making the fight and Vaughn was retreating and wasn't throwing enough volume. Even at one point during the fight, the commentators said he needs to pick up his activity. He's not throwing enough punches. That remained through the rest of the fight. So even I saw the post-fight interview with Gwynn in the locker room or in the hallway or something on IFL TV. And he faced very badly bruised because he's one of those guys that cuts, but it wasn't that Vaughn beat him up. It's just that he's got poor scar tissue on his face the way that Gabe Rosado used to have, But he won that fight, man. And that young guy was stepping up to that level of experience that he hadn't met before. And that's an Ed Hearn fighter. You read between the lines. But I felt that guy did not win. Vaughn. They got the wrong guy. That's right, Stephen L. The Vaughn man won the fight. Yeah. Yeah. And he says, I'm going to try to see Gav would come to the Strong House. Oh, you got a way to get him over there, Stephen L? if you got a way to get them over there, please do, because, you know, Drew and I will have a conversation with him, and I can tell him how I saw the fight and show him my scorecards. I only had the young kid winning 2 rounds, and I gave him easily the first 6 or 7 rounds right off the bat. Yeah, the first 5 rounds I gave to Gwen winning that fight. Queen says, wow, what fight were they watching? Yeah, that's what I was asking, because I was like, even after the bell would ring and, you know, Gwen was going back to his corner smiling like, yeah, y'all brought that young boy out here. I'm showing him a thing or two. And he even agreed to face him in a rematch. He says he understands that the kid can come better, but he says he could be better too. Tay says, yeah, King Gabe and Nate Diaz got the scar tissue. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. A lot of times, you know, judges and, you know, the refs even be looking at the blood on somebody, but they pick and determine who they want to give the win to, you know, because we've seen people bleed like they were stuck at the slaughterhouse, and then we see people that barely have a trickle, and here they go. Doc, come look at this. I'm like, man, it's a scratch. What are you talking about? But this is what we have to deal with, you know, the inconsistencies in the sport. That really sucks, the inconsistencies, because all we want to see is things to be, you know, level straight across. If you're going to call it like that, if a guy going to be aggressive and after it the way that Gavin Gwynn was, give him his victory, man. Don't you know, favor the young guy because his career may be longer, because this guy is at a, you know, coming to the twilight of his career. Don't do that. Give a man his victory if he's earned it. They go through so much of training, time away from their families, denying themselves things so they can make the sacrifice to cut weight, and all of this, traveling sometimes, sleeping in foreign areas, all of that, mental stress and duress, and only to get to a point where they give a solid effort, only to have that taken away with the swipe of a judge's pen or pencil on a scorecard. I mean, that's just so unfair. That's so unfair. We're not talking about, you know, when something is close and it could go the other way. We're talking about when it's clear and clean. Gavin Gwynn won that fight, and you give it to the young man, and he's not going to get better off of this because he escaped with a victory. So he'll come out and perform like this again. But see, if you had given Gwynn the victory, what will happen is that kid will be forced to go back to the drawing board, look at what he did wrong, and try to get better. See, we talk about that all the time on this air, all the time. Stephen L says, I'm going to see if he can work around his time zone. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Jamal Davis in the building saying, salute Stormy and the family. Salute to you, brother. Yeah. That co-main event between Connor Walker and Lewis Ritson. Listen, man. Lewis Ritson. Because I think it's Ritson. Listen, that was a good fight, man. I didn't know either of those guys going into this fight. But that Connor Walker, man, he was on top of Ritson. But Ritson would pick moments to fight back. He just didn't do it consistently enough. And at the end, when they ruled it a unanimous decision for Walker, he had a sign of resignation on his face, did Ritson. He was unhappy that it went down like that and the decision was, but had he showed more of what he was doing in those spots, he could have easily got a split decision or consideration for one. That was a good fight, though. Their styles matched up very well, and my goodness, that Walker, he could throw those little short punches. You know what he's like? He's like a larger size Nick Ball, isn't he? Nick Ball fights way down there at featherweight or junior featherweight, but this kid, they were welterweights, and he kind of has that Nick Ball style kind of mixed in with a little bit of what's his name, Isak Cruz, the pit bull, but he throws those little short shots. Bam, bam. He was like stepping on the inside and stepping in with his shots, and Ritson was taking him on the chin, and he was thinking safety first because he would tie him up from time to time. He wasn't looking to get into a slugfest with him, but he couldn't get the distance because Walker kept closing the gap very quickly. He's got very good feet. And it turned out to be quite a bit of a back and forth there. I had told my brother Drew Titan, I said, man, this co-main, these guys are thumping. I was like, you need to see this fight, man. These guys are really going at it. Very entertaining, though. I was happy to see what we were able to see from those two guys. Yeah. Stephen L. says, Sonny said he's retiring. Well, it's okay for him to retire. Listen, he became a world champion. He doesn't have a lot of knockout power. And at that size and weight division, man, it's some power punching guys down there. And Sonny has taken some punishment. I am not, one to push one out of the sport. But if a guy decides that that's enough for him, hey, I support his decision. I support his decision. But I do feel that he could have fought a different type of fight than what we saw. I think he could have had a different type of preparation. But, I already alluded to that. And I mentioned to you all that he had a different trainer going into this fight. For whatever reason that was, I have no idea. It could be money. It could be time. Maybe his trainer didn't have the time to work with him and, things of that nature. It could always be a number of different reasons. But if that's what he wants to do, my hat's off to him, and I applaud and celebrate his accomplishments in the sport. But the person who may be disillusioned more than anyone would probably be Galal. Because you're not going to be able to do that to everybody. Okay, the OG Mr. Mon said it was between the second and third. Sonny actually said he didn't want to be in there. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. It goes back to what I just said a moment ago, just now. I said he went in with a different trainer and everything. We don't know what went on in his life outside the ring preparing for this opportunity. Listen, there could have been some things that just made him say, you know what, I'm fed up. More than anything, what he may need is some time away from the sport. He's only 28 years of age. He may need some time away and decide that, hey, after a rest, he can come back and do something again. But I am definitely meaningful in my words towards Galal. He needs to be very careful if he thinks that he can just go in there and do that to the other men that's in the division, because that's something that is not necessarily so. Though I've seen Galal fight before tonight, I never was overly impressed with him to the degree that, like, tonight's performance blew me away. I was more impressed with Edwards' performances because he has shown the ability to box and impose his boxing ability on people. If anything, Bam Rodriguez may have beaten the fight out of him because Bam, the way he fights and defeats people, he breaks them down piece by piece. It's never like just a quick knockout punch to the chin. It's like he cuts the ring off on you. He makes you think he makes you think faster and move faster than you're more comfortable doing. And then he's pounding on you and it hurts, and the pressure, and he takes you apart. It's a systematic destruction that Bam puts on his opponents. Galal will probably be a brave opponent, but will probably get taken out in the same matter of rounds that he took Sonny out in. Because he's definitely not going to do those things to Bam. No way, no how. Michael Ray says, Galal really pushed the pace. Yeah. And because they're so familiar, he might have got word that Sonny wasn't into this. You know, his heart isn't in it. Because they're over there in the same country and everything. He's over there. Well, overall, this was a very entertaining fight. You know, I enjoyed what I was able to see here. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a quality matchup, and it was well worth tuning into. It was very entertaining, and we'll just see what's next. But I'm not gonna hold you guys too long. There were about 10 fights on this card, and we can talk about some more of the matches, but I just wanted to come in and give a quick post-fight on Sonny and Galal, and who knows what'll be next for those guys, you know. But yeah. Let's hear from my man, the Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit. making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah, make sure you get you some of that Stormybman merchandise or the Focus Ball. It is up to you what you would like to do. The merchandise links are in the description box, courtesy Shower, the channel member and subscriber. And also don't forget to donate to the channel. You can use the links that are Cash App, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and also in the description box, along with the PayPal. Either option are right there for you. But we're going to get on out of here, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. There will be an Answering the Bell with Stormy in the morning, so look out for that, and we will catch you guys on the next one. And shout out to the mighty LDBC. Enjoy the rest of your week. I do believe there's another fight card on. I got a message from one of the brothers in the community, so I'm going to see what's happening with that. I don't think I'll be doing a post-fight, but I'll check with you guys again soon. Peace to everybody out there.
Are you shocked, Mr. Williams?
Only at how sloppy your man works.